my friend, the junior senator from Texas, Senator Cruz, has just released perhaps the best ad of the 2024 campaign cycle.
Keep your eye on the ball. Ready? Okay, that's okay. Concentrate.
Texas girls are tough.
You got this. Let's do it again.
But they're facing a new opponent they can't beat by digging deeper. Colin Allred could have stopped men from competing in women's sports, but instead, he voted against our daughters. What kind of man does that?
Truth and Courage PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Oh man, this is good. And I think I know actually who wrote that ad. It's a provocative ad. You get Allred, who is an athlete, right? And he just tackles this girl at the end. And I love that tagline. What kind of man does that? And now, some people are going to roll their eyes. They're going to say, this is the best you got. This is the best you Republicans have. We're going to pretend that girls' sports is the most important issue of the election. It's not the most important issue of the election. But it's the clearest issue of the election. Let's put it that way. It's a novel issue. It makes the Democrats look completely absurd. And it's an issue that resonates with every single parent, certainly every single parent of a girl, but I think just every single parent. It is disgusting and scandalous and reckless to allow men and boys to compete in girls' sports. It endangers women. But that's the Democrat Party now, I guess. It's the party of Doug Emhoff and Colin Allred. Doug Emhoff, accused of beating his girlfriend in public. He's the new kind of man, though. He's redefining masculinity, according to Jen Psaki. And then Colin Allred, who voted against protecting girls from being brutalized by men in sports. That's the party, I guess. So much for the party of women. This is a strong issue. If you think this is a minor issue, it's an ancillary issue, I would say look at Virginia. This issue, transgenderism in schools in particular, might have been the defining issue that got Glenn Youngkin elected and flipped a blue Commonwealth red. This issue was one of a number of issues, but a prominent issue that got Ron DeSantis reelected in a landslide in Florida. This is a good issue. Democrats want us to be talking about abortion and in vitro fertilization or something. They don't want us talking about this issue because while it's ancillary in its immediate effect, girls' sports, it is universal. It tells you the whole story because it gives you this whole absurd premise that the Democrats think boys and girls are exactly the same and women need to suffer so that men can be a little bit. Now, speaking of the trans issue, there's a story that just came out of the United Kingdom. The lead child psychologist at Tavistock, this infamous gender clinic that was kids, probably the most infamous in the world. The lead child psychologist at Tavistock was just caught, allegedly, grooming a 15-year-old boy. This guy, lead psychologist at Tavistock and Portman NHS Foundation Trust, was ensnared by a group of vigilante hunters in an online sting after he allegedly, I have to say allegedly 100,000 times as I talk about this, allegedly sent sexually explicit messages to someone who told the psychologist that he was 15 years old. And then the 53-year-old psychologist allegedly met up with his would-be victim in a restaurant, a Nando's restaurant, nice little restaurant chain in the UK, and then arranged to go to a local park to do illegal activities, allegedly. It is always the ones you most expect. This is example number 10,057. It is always the ones you most expect. Who would have thought that a guy who dedicates his life and career to scandalizing would have children? Who could have imagined? And in particularly aberrant ways. Who could have possibly guessed that? This issue, I know there are going to be people, not just the Democrats, but there are going to be GOP figures who say, all right, enough about this thing. I agree. I think it's absurd that our culture has to talk about how boys and girls are different all the time. I agree. I'm sick of it too. This is an important issue because the Democrats are scandalizing and sterilizing children and shortening their lifespans. So just in itself, it's a really crucial issue, but it's a winning issue. And if you pull on this thread just a little bit, you're gonna wind up with a big pile of yarn. There is a lot here. Okay, it is. It's always the ones you most expect. Not 99.7% of the time. That was a good clip. Now hold up, ring the bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.